Hey, welcome back everybody to our channel. We're excited to have a new video out for you guys to check out. We just finished up a tour to Death Valley. It was an amazing trip, way more than we expected.
Stick with us as we show you some great footage. So we finally got to Beatty, Nevada on Sunday night, and after a storm passed through, we decided to tour a little bit of Death Valley that evening while it was cool. We entered on the Daylight Pass Road, I'm having trouble with that road, and started touring. As you can see from the video, the storm had passed but was still threatening. At this point we decided to turn around because it did look like it was going to rain, and as you can tell from the terrain, it is a flash flood area. By turning around here, we did miss the crater that we wanted to see, but the castle was closed anyway from previous road damage. From here we went on to the sand dunes, and as you can see, the terrain, the scenery was absolutely stunning. On our way to the Stovepipe Wells village, we passed by the Mesquite sand dunes. As you can see, the storm overhead, the wind blowing made for a beautiful sight. We stopped and enjoyed the sand dunes for a little while, watched the storm with the awe that it just made for an incredible sight, and then headed on to the village of Stovepipe Wells.
Well, as we were checking out the sand dunes, I looked out towards the west, and I saw this just incredible dirt storm blowing up out there. So, yeah, of course, we decided we had to run out there and check it out and see what it was like. But it was just this incredible mixture of rainy blue skies, and then here's this dirt storm just going crazy right in front of us. We rode right up to it, but I decided to turn around. I didn't think that would be much fun.
We camped in Beatty because we didn't think we'd be able to get camping in the park. But as you can see, there wasn't very many campers there. We could have done it. It was also nice to know that there were services available in the park, as this gas station shows. Just in case, it's just nice to know. This is on our way back to Beatty. As the storm coming, we decided it'd be a good idea to get settled back in. Enjoy the scenery. On the way back to Beatty, we stopped for those traditional "we were there" pictures. Well, a wonderful lady was taking pictures of her family and took several shots. It was really great because we occasionally don't get shots with both of us in it. And this is the Death Valley Inn where we camped because we didn't think we could get into the park. At 6 a.m. we're back on the road ready to tour the park while it's still cool. I took pictures of these signs because I thought it was interesting, the different things that cross the road. Burros, tortoise, at one point we saw look like matador bulls, not in this area but getting out there. It was just fun. As you can see, the sun is coming over the mountains, creating incredible shadows and sights. We were just awestruck by the beauty and the change as we headed to Badwater.
Okay, we were back on the bike and we were going to continue the tour. I was looking forward to seeing the Borax Mines, and sure enough, there's the sign. So I knew we were close, but I knew we were close anyway. So as we were driving by here, we went past the Furnace Creek Visitor Center, which I think you'll see here. And then we also found a place where you could pull over and pull your vehicle into the shade if you were fortunate enough to be there when it wasn't crowded. Also, as we continued our ride down this portion, I saw that there was a convenience store, a gas station, and I glanced over at the fuel prices, and I think it was $5.54 a gallon. Thank goodness we didn't need any fuel, so we were on our way. I was excited to see Badwater, so we are off and heading that direction. Badwater is a pretty interesting place. I think it's the hottest place on Earth, highest temperature ever recorded at 134 degrees. I was pretty interested to see this. See, it's just pretty much flat country out there, and there's a little information about how it was named. A man tried to water his mule out there, and the mule wouldn't drink the water, and so it became the name Badwater. If you look way up on this cliff, and it's hard to see, there's a little white sign that says sea level. It ends up being we're standing 280 some feet below sea level at that place. I walked out on the salt flat just a ways to take a look at it. You can see it's pretty desolate. Up there on the hillside again, you can see that little sign. We took one last look before we headed out.
The next stop on our adventure was Devil's Golf Course. This is down a dirt road, which makes us really glad we have a dual sport. As you can see, the road was nice, but there was some washboards. But as you can see, the salt crystal formations are just really interesting and unique. And as we drove into the parking lot, we're the only ones there. It was such a treat to have the entire park pretty much to ourselves as we enjoyed the scenery. We're about a month after the prime visiting season for the park, but it was when it fit our schedule, and we were expecting really hot temperatures, and I guess everyone else was too. But the weather was beautiful. We couldn't have picked a better day. After we finished at Devil's Golf Course, we went on to Artist Drive. This wasn't something either one of us had really considered even seeing, and it ended up being an unexpected treasure. Number one, the road is one way, so it's easy to travel and John can look around a little more. And number two, as you can see, we're the only ones there. We saw one other couple when we pulled into an overlook, and that was it for the entire drive. Wow and wow. This crow was pretty much the only wildlife we saw in the entire park. We did see the burros that Beatty keeps as somewhat pets. They were feeding them, but try as I could, I never did see a tortoise crossing the road. Still, what a trip. John thought the bike was riding just a little odd at this point, so we pulled over to check the tire pressures. and he had a air pump, just aired it up a little bit. Thought it was mainly my weight, my 100 pounds. Ha ha.
Maybe just because you're with me, it feels different. That's good news, Angela.
Yeah. We're just amazed that every place we stop, if we wait just a little bit, we're the only ones here. The temperature is absolutely beautiful. The drive is beautiful. How did we get so blessed? If you notice, there's not anybody in the parking lot. We're in Artist Palette Overlook. So Golden Canyon was one of the few places we did see some other people. There were a lot of hikers going into this beautiful area. I hiked back a little bit, but of course I'm in motorcycle boots and full gear, so not good hiking attire, but just enough to see it. This picture was what looked like a fossil buried in the trail, and so that was kind of cool. Again, lots of people here. Beautiful hike. If we came in a different time of year in hiking gear, I think it'd be well worth the experience.
Now check this out over here to the right. Somebody has created this resort or something down there in the valley. It looked pretty fancy. But all these palm trees and stuff, it was just a weird sight. You know, as I rounded the corner here, I saw the elevation. We're at sea level here in the valley. Also, we stopped at the visitor center and it was a comfortable 87 degrees. We walked in. They even have masks on the bighorn sheep. So we're finally off to the Borax Mines. I really wanted to see this thing. And just look at the landscape around it. It was beautiful even out there. They had a bunch of the old wagons and mine work still set up out there so you could see. I was glad they preserved it. They talked a little bit in the displays about who they brought out to work there and how they worked. They had to stop during the summer, but they worked the mine mainly in the wintertime months or the cooler months of the year. It was just a fascinating thing that people were out there mining this stuff in Death Valley.
Okay, we're at the Borax Mines here in Death Valley. This is the whole reason I wanted to visit. At about 4th grade, I read a book about the 20 mule teams that pulled these wagons. They were full of borax, plus they had to haul their own drinking water out of here to even survive. It was something like 130 miles to their destination, 130 or 160, something like that. I was fascinated by these men driving these 20 mule teams through Death Valley in the heat. It sounds like they only worked here in the winter, so it was probably only 100 and whatever. But anyway, this is the whole reason I wanted to see it, and it's been a whole lot more than that once we've got here. The scenery is spectacular out here in the desert. What a great trip so far. Stick with us.
Throughout our entire married life, John had told me he wanted to go see the Borax Mines at Death Valley. And I wasn't that excited, to be honest. And when he wanted to plan the trip, I'm like, okay, we're going to go. But again, I wasn't that excited. Wow, this trip far exceeded my expectations. We had such a great time, and I wouldn't have missed it. In fact, I want to go back and catch the things we missed.
Hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was really special for us. We just had so much fun out of the trip.
And please like and subscribe and comment below on the best part of Death Valley to you. Thanks for watching.